Well, it's Niacin 14th, or basically the night Jesus talked to his Father and wept tears of blood. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about Passover, or the night before, when he was taken into custody by the Jewish leaders, and he was tried in the morning, and he was crucified. This has always been a time of reflection for me, and just a time to remember what it cost, what my salvation cost. It cost the life of the greatest man who ever lived, the true Son of God, and it cost a loving and living God his most precious thing in the whole wide world, his Son. If you're a father, you know what that means, or you have some idea. It's important to remember and to observe Niacin 15 for two reasons. The first being, even though salvation is the free gift of God to anyone who will accept it, that doesn't mean that it was necessarily free. It cost God a great deal to give you this gift. It just means it didn't cost you anything. There's nothing you can do to pay for what you receive. That gives you some idea of the length God was willing to go to restore mankind. And the other reason is this. He said, being Christ, Jesus, do this in remembrance of me a very long time ago, so I want to honor his wishes. I know that it's important, because if we forget the price, if we forget the sacrifice, if we forget what this truly cost, to be able to stand before God, that's when we start trotting it underfoot, treating it like it's useless or of no value, like it was no big thing. And it is a very, very big thing. Some might ask the question, well, isn't Niacin 15th, Passover, the same as Easter? No, it's not. Easter, or Ishtar, is a celebration about fertility, growth, reproduction, and it has to do with a pagan god. In this case, it would be goddess. It's part of the Ashtoreth. Pesach, or Passover, has to do with when the children left Egypt and God brought them out by His mighty hand, and how we're all sons and daughters of God today. It's because of His sacrifice, His willingness to send His Son to be the sacrifice for us, so that His justice can be satisfied. And we need to remember that. So we truly do love what is good and hate what is bad. And when He tells you to do something, you're more willing to do what He's asking you to do. And when you do things that you know are wrong, it hurts a little bit more, so that you don't do it as long and you do it less, because it matters. If we mattered enough for Jehovah God to send His Son, whom He dearly loves, to suffer and to die in our place, it matters how we treat that gift that we're given. It matters how we obey the commands Christ gives us. It matters whether we're willing to seek out truth, even if the rest of the world thinks you're crazy, even if people don't understand what you're talking about. They didn't understand Jesus. They didn't understand a lot of the men and women who knew God and loved God. So, this isn't really for them. This is for the people who love God and who truly want to serve God, and they're seeking Him, and they know there's something wrong, they just can't quite put their finger on it. Hopefully, they'll be able to do that very soon, and God will lead them in the way that they should walk. That's what part of this is about. The other part is obedience. Well, hopefully this gives you an idea of how serious Passover is, and what it really means, and what salvation really cost. It's easy to gloss over things. It's easy to not really think about it from the depths of your heart. I would urge you to examine yourself before Passover tomorrow. And if you find anything in your heart that you think God wouldn't be happy with, ask Him to forgive you and to get it out of there, and say you're sorry. And I hope to meet a lot of you as you grow in faith, trust, and love